Hey folks, welcome to Crazy Gamer Models. I am the Crazy Gamer and I do models. How is everybody doing today? We are going to have a very quick look at some upgrades for the USS North Carolina, the 1/350th scale I have from Trumpeter. This is a photo etch upgrade kit from Tom's Modelworks. And I have to say, this is a very nice photo etch kit. It's the thickness of the photo etch is very nice to scale. The instructions are remarkable. And you'll see that here in a minute. So, this from Tom Models Work. It is kit 3553, and this came with my ship. So I don't know where you would find it. I got this at my local hobby store, Hobbytown in Sanford, Florida. You can visit them. They're on Orlando Avenue. If you live in the Central Florida area or anywhere in Florida, you can go visit them. They have fantastic stuff. They are not a sponsor. So the instructions, it tells you basically how to cut the stuff out. It's telling you can get a hold and fold from the small shop. It's got their website for the small shop. I use Trumpeter benders, which are fine, I believe. So all this stuff, and then it talks about the reference material used to do this stuff, and then it starts talking about the handrails here. And right here you see the deck rails, which is the main deck, and then you see superstructure rail placement, and then there's 4 different types, and it says check references for placement. So we're going to get some references here, and then we're going to take a look at this these rails. We're going to go through the instructions and look at all the parts. So here are your rails here. These right here are your deck rails, and then these rails here, this, and this are your superstructure rails, and you use them in according to what your references recommend. So there's there's 1, 2, 3 of one of each of those. Excuse me. And 3 of these, and then for the main guardrails you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they are all roughly 7 1/4 inches long. So 7 1/4 inches long on this. Now this is a standard 1/350th scale USS World War II handrails. So I believe it's the same handrails like you get on the Missouri and things like that. So now the next section on the instructions is vertical ladders. So there are some nice vertical ladders, and we'll take a look at those right over the instructions. Yeah, you're not going to see those. So right here are your vertical ladders, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, and 3 in each section, so 12 sections of vertical ladder. And these are all cut the length, guys. These are not the length that you need them. These are, you have to plan out how they're going to go on the ship, and they're basically, you have to cut them to length and form them and glue them and put them in place. So handrails on a ship can be tricky. 1/350th scale is a little easier than say 700th scale, and 1/200th is a little bit easier than say 1/350th and 700th. So next up in the instructions, it talks about the gun shields in sights. So you're talking about that, and then it's also going to talk about the 40 millimeter quad mount shields and rails, and then you have that. So let's take a look at those parts here. So right here are your 40 millimeter shields and rails. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of them. So I don't know off the top of my head how many are on the ship, but somewhere around there. And then you have the 20mm mounts right here, or the 20mm gun shields in this corner over here. And then these super tiny pieces here, which I'm going to attempt to zoom in on. Are your gun sights. Right here, and then here are some more gun sights. So it's going to be nice. These little bitty gun sights, gluing them on is going to be super tricky. Excuse me. But we'll address all that in the build. So that is step 3 and 4. Now we're going to look at your funnel cap grills, and it's basically modifying part F18. And there's a couple of those. There's one there and one there. So there's 2 of those parts for the funnel caps, so that's nice. And then now we're going to move on to the radar here. Let's see if I can get this all in the frame there. So now we have the radar, and it's the SK2 radar placement. It replaces parts C5 and D27, and you have to modify part D720 to reuse the round base. And basically this is your radar that goes on top of the ship, on top of the superstructure, and it is basically these parts right here. And it's nice, they kind of tuck the parts in together. You have this part, this part, this part, this part, and this part are all for your radar. So it is basically in this little section here is what your radar is, which is great because you're not going to be hunting around for all the parts. Like all your shields, your gun shields are in this, and sights. And then now in this section right here is your radar components for your SK2 radar. So, and then it basically gives you readout of the instructions. And then now we are going to move on to the boat handling crane booms. You're going to replace G3 and G4, and then you're going to fold into a box structure, closing off the ends by slight bending the top to meet the sides, and then add the crane boom end sides down 90 degrees, and then add the hook. So alright, so there we go with that. So let's look at these crane boom arms here. Now it doesn't tell you a part number on these crane booms, but it shows you a picture, and that is these guys right here in this corner, and here's the hooks right next to them. So there's your crane boom pieces. So you got your nice crane boom. Bend that up with a bender. So that's those pieces right there. And then we also this has been sized down at a 90. I'm not seeing that piece. It shows this piece right here, which is these 2 pieces right here. There's a crane boom ends, so we're a little bit off on that one. Now we got assembly for the Mark 12, the Mark 22 replacement parts, and then all that stuff. So now we have Mark 4 radars, some modifications to do, and all your radar components are, where are they at? Where did I see those? Right here in this section right here. So this is your MK4 radar mount antenna. crisper. There. So, and then if you're doing the MK4 and MK12, these are your antenna here. So these are your antenna that go on, you know, with the section here. And then you have an optional MK22 antenna if you're doing the MK22 upgrade. And the optional MK22 antennas are these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So looks like you're building 4 of these, and they attach, and then they all attach together to make one large. So it talks about the modifications. And then now we have here, we have the rail netting to replace cast detail. And then it says modify G10, G11 to cut out center and add brass parts. So you have these two, and those are all right in this area. So you're going to cut out all those areas on wherever they're located and add the brass details to that. And then now you have some platform replacements right here, and those are going to be right here is your platform replacement. It appears to there's only one platform replacement for D34. And then now you have your RDF loops and your TDY jammer. So let's see if we can find the RDF loops here. RDF loops. Okay. Here is your RDF loops right here, and here is your TDY jammer, these two pieces there. And then you have the aircraft handling crane. That is this large section, this large crane here. It shows you a nice bending instruction, adding different pieces to it. Then you have various small antennas. Check your references for locations. And they are, you know, different antennas there, you know, different antennas and stuff. So, and then you have the 26-foot whaler boat rudder and deck mounting hardware, which is these pieces you need to modify to remove cast on boat mounts where the brass parts can be added. So let us see here if we can find those pieces. Yes, they are on a different sheet. So they are on this sheet of photo etch, and they, that's kind of, there we go. They are right here on this sheet there. And also these two pieces here are for that part. And then you have some aircraft detail parts, some floats, some connections for the floats, and some props. And they are back on this sprue here. And they are exact location on fret may vary. Well, it's showing me a picture of where they are on the fret, and then it says exact location on the fret may vary, because they're definitely not there. That's funny. So these may be a little bit harder to find here. I'm not seeing any propeller blades. They're going to be tiny. Okay, let me check this other fret here. Yes, here they are. They're on this fret right here. So they are these mounts right here for the floats, and then your two propeller blades. So then you have your whip antenna mounts, which are here, these sections right here. And that is this section here, the whip antenna mounts. So there is page, that's all of page 1 and 2. So now we're going to go to page 3 here, and we're going to look at the catapults. So these are the catapults, and they are right here, your 2 catapults for your 2 planes. And then they have gantries and all kinds of systems on them that are all right here in this area. Right here is all this section is your catapult area. And then you have your different ladders, making ladders and placing them, and they are all different sizes in this section here. So there's quite a few ladders there. So, and then we are on to this page where we're looking at some flotation baskets and some hose reels, and they are on this fret there, there, and there. As you can see, there's flotation baskets and hose reels, and it basically goes over that. Now we're looking at the older radar kits are provided for backdating kit to earlier wartime periods, so you can build the CXAM1 antenna and the SK radar antenna. So basically, you can backdate it before it got any of its upgrades. So, and I'm probably going to do the one that was hit right before it was hit by the torpedo. So I will probably do that. Now we have the MK8 antenna radar. This is what they had originally installed on the North Carolina and the Washington. So this is the backdating section of this antenna here, and this is what it looks like. If you can't find reference photos, it gives you some reference photos of what the antenna array looked like back then. So I'm going to, and then it gives you a layout of all the part numbers on the sprue, on the fret. So let's go in here. We're going to look at all, and that's the end of it. That's basically it. It got long in the beginning, but we're going to take one last look at all of the fret here, the whole thing. Just going to scan through it here so you guys can see all the different little pieces, all of the parts here. It's nice, it even has some different labels on here, like the MK8 rear, front, the ST center, base, MK8. So it actually labeled some of the parts for you on the fret. So take a look, one last look here. So there's that one. Like I said, there's the 3 frets. Then there's bent a little bit. You have to be very careful with this photo etch. It bends very simply. It is very thin. It is very to scale accuracy on its thickness. So, and then one last look at the rails here. Just back out a little bit. And there's your rails. So that's it. That's going to be all of the photo etch for my USS North Carolina, the BB5. Again, it's from Tom's Modelworks, and it is kit 3535, and it is for the Trumpeter 1/350th scale North Carolina. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to be building this. It's going to be a Thursday build thing. It's going to be starting very soon after this review, possibly another review gets out. So, and guys, just a little cleanup at the end. If you guys want to visit my Patreon page, I do Patreon only tool reviews up for a week there, and then they're released elsewhere. So you can visit my Patreon page for as little as $1. You get enters and giveaways. You get the videos early, and it helps out the channel a lot. I can do more projects. You know, I want to start an aircraft, so we're going to have tanks on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have a ship on Thursdays, and I would like to add an aircraft on possibly Tuesdays. And we also have building techniques on Wednesdays, and Kitbashing Warhammer Wednesday. So it's a busy channel. We have a lot of projects going on. The projects take a little bit of time, but they're getting done. We do build reviews, talk about fit and the parts. I do sprue reviews where I show you what's in the kit and a build up to a build review. So kits I show are going to get built, and they're going to get tested for fit and fit issues, and I'm going to let you know all that stuff. The current build review is a TACOM King Tiger. It is getting done. The lower hull is done. Just need to do the tracks for the lower hull, and the upper hull is getting done, and we're going to be moving on to the turret. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you to all my supporters. Thank you to all my Patreons. You guys are fantastic, and you make this channel great. For the rest of you, I am the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a fantastic day.